doesn't represent our values, and it's time for him to go.
Covey wants you to pay higher taxes. It's wrong.
Those are the ads that you just cannot escape. They're everywhere as the runoff race for District 21 intensifies. And many of you guys have asked us to verify some of the claims that you have seen in these commercials.
So we brought in an advertising expert from the Dallas area to get an outsider's opinion. He calls this a fascinating race.
Sad David Covey's taken money from the TikTok guy.
Dade Phelan is the woke legislator of the year.
We'll spare you from having to listen to much more of the ads, but we want to dig into the claims because so many of you asked us to verify what's being said.
Every trick in the book is being played in this campaign.
Vinny Minchillo is a principal at Glass House Strategy, a DFW-based advertising agency.
And there are different standards of truth-telling, basically, whether it's a state ad or a federal race.
Minchillo says federal races have a different threshold that must be met.
Well, when we send a TV commercial to the station, we have to send along with them a piece of paper that proves everything we say. In state races, it's not always the case.
The same is true for all of those mailers.
Not everybody is going to ask for that proof for every ad.
Making this race feel more like the Wild Wild West.
Sometimes you find some stuff that gets through that's pretty slippery.
Minchillo reviewed a series of TV commercials from both campaigns.
What's really interesting is in this race, you had a lot of outside forces come in, the Club for Growth, any number of PACs, and then a lot of sophisticated people have come to get involved in these campaigns.
Yeah, in fact, the first clip I sent you, I think, is from theirs. That's the one that starts with what we know as the Phelan Mansion.
Dade Phelan is from a very wealthy, well-known family.
But the ad featuring the Phelan Mansion is misleading. According to the Terrell Historical Library, the Phelan family gave the estate to the Sisters of Charity back in 1957, nearly 2 decades before Dade Phelan was born. Then there's this ad from the Phelan campaign.
David Covey has proposed increasing taxes on virtually everything you purchase. Boats, cars, guns, potato chips, even diapers.
This claim needs context.
The time has come for us to pass a bill to eliminate property taxes.
Covey supports abolishing property taxes and creating a consumption tax.
So for somebody like me, that gives me the freedom to say, wow, he's going to raise taxes on diapers. He's going to raise taxes on your house, your boat, your car, which is technically true, but certainly not the whole story.
Now on to the next claim.
Phelan sided with open border Democrats to kill key border security legislation.
This also needs context. The Texas Tribune says in 2023, House Bill 20 sought to create a team of police and deputized citizens to patrol the southern border. The legislation, which critics said would empower vigilantes and endanger the lives of asylum seekers and Hispanic Texans, died when Democrats killed it with a procedural tactic. Instead, it was Senate Bill 4 that gained momentum. Phelan never voted on that piece of legislation, which is normal for House speakers.
As Speaker, Dade Phelan passed the strongest border security bill in history.
That's somewhat debatable. Opponents argue it was the Texas Senate who authored and pushed for SB 4 and not the House leadership.
Speaker Dade Phelan is fighting back. Phelan secured billions for the wall
and will complete 100 more miles of President Trump's border wall.
That's generally true, according to the Texas Tribune. Senate Bill 3 appropriated $1.5 billion to continue building a barrier and to fund immigration enforcement efforts. Abbott signed it. The money would be added to at least $1.5 billion in contracts that the state has issued since September of 2021 to build about 40 miles of border barrier. The funds are in addition to more than $5 billion appropriated in the current budget to continue paying for Operation Lone Star. Again, opponents argue that Phelan is now taking credit for the Senate's work. We found one claim from Covey's campaign that appears to be false.
He allowed taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens.
Texas Health and Human Services and the National Immigration Law Center refute that. The state says, quote, illegal aliens are only eligible for Medicaid for treatment of an emergency medical condition if they meet all other eligibility criteria, including residency requirements. In order to get Medicaid, you have to be a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident who has been in the U.S. for at least 5 years.
But watching that reel of ads from both the campaigns and from all the PACs, one of the things that really stuck out to me is what they don't say.
No one's mentioning the vouchers, but that is ultimately, arguably, what's on the ballot here.
That's an issue that I think does not move voters. Now, I've seen it in polls, and people are interested in it, but it's not an issue that moves voters.
Minchillo and other Texas experts believe this race is fundamentally a referendum for the GOP.
Any predictions?
I rarely make predictions, but I will make one quick observation, though. We've got millions of dollars on the line, players from out of state, really important stuff. And it's not so much to try to get somebody elected, it's just to try to kick somebody out.
And his other prediction that we will see twice the turnout as we had in the original March primary. Experts say where those voters live could also factor into the outcome.